Oh wait, this is the wrong room. Edgar's here.
Hey!
I've done what I set out to do.
Edgar's definitely gonna die. Oh, I can
As
see
he
you
ever
too.
did, I wonder how it really felt for Kiria. Finally getting his revenge.
It's just one problem after another.
Literally the exact same dialogue. I'm going to Sylvain's room real quick.
Everyone hold
We can't let Kyria get away.
I had to do that really quick.
Huh. Not a peep. Has Kiria given up on his revenge? Guess. Still nothing unusual. Paimon took a peek into the room next door and Sylvain's already sleeping.
Perhaps Kyria's true motive was simply forcing Sylvain to confess his crimes. No, that can't be right. If all he wanted was for Sylvain to be convicted for his true crimes, he could have tipped off the Mara Chasset Phantom years ago. There must be something we're missing.
Maybe we just need to calm down a little. How about some tea? That herbal blend from earlier was pretty tasty. You're right. Maybe we can look for a different distraction then, like, oh, there's a glaze lily here. Paimon didn't notice it earlier.
Flowers. Oh no! Sylvain's room! Quick!
Wait,
Oh shit. Hay fever.
Hey, did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
It was the older of the merchant brothers, right?
Yeah, I think his name was Sylvain.
First it was Mr. Edgar, then that merchant named Lucy, and
Listen up, everyone. This is an active crime scene. Please, no loitering.
it's been 3 days and they haven't even caught a glimpse of the guy.
Do you think it could be the work of an evil spirit? I mean, how do you get away with something like that with so many people watching?
Keep it moving, everyone. No loitering.
I suppose I'm next.
You don't know that. Kyria already attacked you once, and
You were the only reason I managed to survive.
even if I wasn't there, Tainari was also in the vicinity.
Is that so? I have exceptional students, caring friends, and the respect of my peers. But Kyria has nothing. It really makes you wonder if there's even a reason to keep on living.
If you really want an answer, I suppose you'll have to ask Kyria himself, once we finally catch him.
Well, Emilie, there's something else I'd like to ask of you. With everything that's happened, holding the exhibition is off the table now. But so many flowers were transported here for the show. Some of them thousands of miles away from their homeland. Whether Kyria gets to me first, or I'm sent back to Fontaine to stand trial, I know it's a lot to...
Of course not.
Really? Now
Sheriff Sham still has some questions for me.
Go ahead. Best not to keep him waiting. He can be quite impatient.
I'm sorry, Master.
wow, another all-nighter. Paimon sure hopes Emily's plan. Emily still isn't back. I hope she didn't run into any trouble. Yeah, that's true.
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. The crowd is gone now, too. After listening to Emily's plan, I started getting the materials together and arranging personnel. To be honest, I'm still not sure how the crime was committed that night.
The key clue was right in front of us the entire time. Let's go. We'll this incense originally in Lucien's room?
Spirit Borneo.
This is it!
The glazed lily, huh? I think I've heard of it before. It's a
Well, did you know it only blooms at night?
Emilie, you're back!
Exactly as expected.
A flower that only blooms at night.
Exactly. Although the Neelopala lotus wouldn't be a good substitute in this scenario. When it's closed, the gaps between the petals are too large. That's why Kyria chose the glaze lily as his mechanism. He would start by preparing an Agus sample.
If applied to the outside, that doesn't sound... There's a sticky substance on the edge of the flower petals. If you stick the petals together with slime condensate, then in the daytime, the glazed lily would act almost like a hidden container.
That's right! He applied a diluted form of slime condensate to the petals to stick them together and enclosed a sample of Auguste in the center. That way, the Auguste would remain trapped inside during the daytime, unable to seep between the petals and evaporate into the air. This also allowed the culprit to plant the poison well in advance, while his targets remained oblivious. However, the diluted slime condensate wouldn't be viscous enough to prevent the petals of the glaze lily from opening at night. So by nightfall, the flower would bloom, thereby forcing the target to inhale the Auguste trapped inside.
And Kyria could execute his revenge without having to step foot inside the room during the night.
By the next morning, the sample of Auguste would have nearly fully evaporated. The glaze lily would have already closed its petals, and any lingering odor would be concealed by the fragrance of the other flowers in the room.
Wait a second. You're telling me this version of Auguste is so toxic, inhaling the minute amount trapped inside a flower is enough to kill a grown man? And how did Edgar even survive ingesting a whole bottle of the stuff?
That's because Auguste is just as dangerous now as it was all those years ago. The level of toxicity has never changed.
Ah, you mean people who are sensitive to elemental energy? That can't be right. They were involved in the operation all those years ago.
I wouldn't use the word allergic necessarily. It's more like they're susceptible to its effects. You can think of it this way. It's not that Sylvain and Lucien are innately sensitive to elemental energy, but that Kyria found a way to ensure that they would be.
The incense I smelled earlier seemed familiar. In Sumeru, scholars use
Alchemically produced essential oils, the primordial seawater that caused unrest in Fontaine not too long ago. All of those are substances that can heighten your sensitivity to elemental energy.
That stuff gave us a lot of trouble when we first came to Sumeru.
Ah, yes. I definitely remember that.
In Sumeru, it's not uncommon to use incense indoors, so its presence wouldn't arouse suspicion. The flowers in the room could also serve to mask the scent.
Flowers are pretty important to this plan, huh? The glazed lily is native to Liwa. It would be completely unnatural to have one here in Sumeru if it weren't for the exhibition.
Actually, it's not a coincidence at all.
No wonder he was willing to pay a small fortune to rent out the hotel.
He probably used the mora Yelena left him, don't you think? That money was supposed to set him free, but in the end, it was just a tool for his revenge.
There's a saying among forensic doctors in Fontaine. Every step you take leaves a mark. But up until this point, we haven't been able to detect any trace of Kyria's activities. That's not because he was coming and going undetected, or because he's some kind of evil spirit, but because he's been disguised as someone else this entire time.
creating such an intricate mechanism out of a glazed lily, setting up the spirit Borneo in advance. It all points to one person, the expert in charge of the entire exhibition. The mora spent to rent out the hotel, the way the Auguste flower was cultivated, it all points to one person. Kyria and Edgar are one and the same.
But Kirya was only in his teens back then. He wouldn't even be 40 years old by now. Edgar's lived here for so many years. Even if he changed his appearance.
Bad news, Sheriff. Mr. Edgar was attacked.
What?
A dark shadow-like figure just ran out of his room. But before we could even react, the figure up and disappeared like some sort of ghost or something. Do you think Kyria kidnapped?
I need you to think very carefully about this.
I mean, Mr. Edgar.
It would seem Master decided to tap into an ill-advised source of power.
What? But that's so dangerous with the condition he's in.
But why?
No. If his aim was to target everyone who had a hand in Yelena's death,
If he left Sylvain alive yesterday, not out of a desire to see him suffer, but to confirm the truth about why Yelena chose to die,
then there...
Himself.
The shadow-like figure ran in the direction of the elevator, and my partner immediately chased after them.
We should hurry before they're forced to confront each other.
Where in the world did he go? Who has the merchants nearby?
A shadow-like figure. Sorry,
It's all right. Please, calm down and take a deep breath.
How could...
This is terrifying.
No! Don't come any closer!
If we go any...
It's all right. I can detect a faint whiff of the scent from here. It's this way. Please, follow me.
Still had that delusion after all that time. Decided to use it to their advantage. There we go.
The scent is getting stronger. This must be the place.
Again, I'm only going in with this because I'm gonna get a free Emilie from this anyway.
Oh! Oz! Are you all right? Were you...
No, I'm...
Let me take a look.
The air definitely feels heavy. It smells nice, but for some reason,
this feeling...
Everything looks all right. It was probably just the stress of the chase.
I can't rest. Mr. Edgar is still in there. He's a good man.
Oz, you need to calm down and listen to me. Edgar is the one we're after.
But how is that possible? Mr. Edgar is 70-something.
That's precisely why he had to resort to extraordinary measures to age himself. Kyria used a delusion to bring back the Auguste flower, corroding his body in the process.
No. He couldn't have. Mr.
And what if the impersonation started before he ever set foot in Sumeru? I've yet to confirm it, but I suspect Kyria killed the real Edgar in Fontaine not long after his release from prison. While Edgar was incarcerated, Kyria started making preparations to replace him, including forcefully aging his body, studying perfumery, and planning the real Edgar's demise. The new Edgar then decided to relocate to Sumeru, seemingly out of an innocuous desire to let go of the past. He even left perfume making in favor of mentoring students. But these decisions were all for a specific purpose: the need to distance himself from anyone who might see through the facade. And Sumeru fit the bill to a T, with no one around to question his identity. All he had to do was grow a beard, don a pair of glasses, make a few minor alterations to his appearance, and everyone would believe he was exactly who he claimed. As the years went by, He removed his disguise little by little and continued to refine his skills. It would have been a gradual process, one that ensured no one around him would notice anything unusual.
That explains why Sylvain said he barely recognized Edgar back at the hotel. He aged himself decades beyond his years just so he could accomplish his revenge.
I need to find Mr. Edgar. He's not that kind of...
What you really need is to get out of here in red.
No,
Wait! This environment is likely being influenced by the delusion. Any discomfort, no matter how slight, should not be treated lightly. I know how to relieve your symptoms, Mr. I'm sure Kyria... No,
Kale's right. The Traveler and I will take things from here. From our brief exposure to a goose, it would seem the substance has little effect on us. This leads me to believe those blessed with a vision or capable of wielding elemental power are more resistant to the effects of abnormal elemental energy. In other words, this environment doesn't pose as much of a risk to us.
Also, I'm used to it because I literally have stood inside of a delusion factory before, so I've felt the wrath of the gods directly.
Actually, now that I think about it, this stronghold likely has multiple points of entry. I hate to trouble you.
Thanks. Hear that? We're heading out. There's work to be done. Ooze, head back to Port Ormos and start gathering reinforcements.
Traveler, Emilie, for someone whose only purpose in life is revenge, there's no telling what they'll do when there's no reason to move forward.
Don't worry. This isn't the end. Not for us. We're not going to let a goose kill anyone else.
Yeah, baby.
Monsters. Perhaps they were attracted here by the increased level of elemental energy. I was poorly prepared.
It's a very interestingly designed halberd.
Reconstitute!
But to be honest, I kind of find it hard to use polearm characters that don't use the traditional polearm charge attack.
Neutralize!
Because the thing about the traditional one that polearm characters tend to have is that it's really good for movement.
I've never seen these seeds before. They must also have been created with the power of a delusion. It seems to be avoiding us, and there's no other way forward. Perhaps we could try luring it to the edge of the cliff.
What do you want me to do? I don't... Okay. Oh, it's this. I was so confused. I thought it was the effect that was sitting right over there. I was like, what the heck is going on? Because it made me look over there.
Whoa, look at all the Auguste flowers!
Oh, so this is the Auguste flower.
There are so many of them. I can't believe a single person did all this.
I fear that statement is truer than you know, Paimon. Using a delusion comes at a cost. Not just time, but the time you have left to live.
But why would... He only needed a few bottles of Auguste to carry out his plan.
Perhaps hatred wasn't the only emotion fueling his obsession with a goose. Not long ago, he told me he didn't want all the flowers transported to Sumeru to wither away in a foreign land. But Kyria betrayed Snezhnaya, abandoned Fontaine, and lived his entire life in Sumeru under the guise of someone else. For someone with nowhere to call home. Perhaps dying among a bed of Auguste flowers just like his sister is the best homecoming he could ask for.
There certainly are a lot of them.
Neutralize! This'll brighten up the place!
Clear the area!
So, like, when I'm talking about the traditional one, I'm talking about this one. I personally find this one a lot more usable than the alternate. They get used a lot in some higher rarity characters. But I get why they don't want to always use the same one. 'Cause it obviously will get boring over time, but I still find this one to be useful. It's really good for enemies that are in a row, as well as repositioning, because it, allows you to move through enemies. These things are annoying.
A plant that destroys seeds. Huh.
Well, yeah, I was trying to avoid
Quite
it.
the ecological marvel. Let's head back to the place where the seeds first appeared.
Is there any way to turn them off? Or maybe have the seed actually go across a path that makes sense? Why are you going immediately into it? What is wrong with you? Okay, what the fuck does it expect me to do? If I could just ignore all this, but that stuff doesn't make any sense. Like, what do you want me to do? What do you expect me to do? Hit them?
Neutralize!
Like, what do you want me to do? What are you expecting me to do? Like, how am I supposed to get it through this if it only ever goes right here and right here? Like, what? I mean, if there was an easier way to determine where it's gonna go. Like a Sealy. Come on, keep going. Where the fuck are you going? No, don't go over. God damn it! What the fuck? I'm not even facing that direction. Get over here. Go. Why are you going in that direction? Go. Fucking piece of shit. Who designed this? No, what are you doing? I'm not even next to you. I genuinely don't even know what they expect me to do. Like, what am I supposed to do here? I'm so fucking confused. There's no way it goes through this because it only has 2 set paths. I'm so fucking confused. Who made this? What moron designed this? So all I can do is like moving around a few small set. Are you gonna do anything? But like, if I try to do anything else, it'll just fucking die. If I do this, oh, now it wants to go that direction. Yeah, fucking thanks. I still think this is horribly designed, though. Like, that thing does not want to fucking move. Especially not in the direction you're actually meant to make it go.
The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end.
It's not even a real puzzle.
The scent of flowers is getting stronger.
Did they catch up that fast? No. My strength is just waning. But it doesn't matter. This is far enough.
Oh, and he just fucking drinks it?
This is a garden of Auguste flowers. But it's not mine. It's the one that was set on fire all those years ago in Fontaine. Yelena? Yelena! You tried to hide it from me, but the reason why you continued to use the delusion, the reason why you set your garden on fire, I shouldn't have listened to you that day. I shouldn't have taken the Mora and ran. But by the time I realized something wasn't right, there was nothing left. I know I'm almost 20 years too late. I should have come looking for you early. I should have died with you that day. Yelena? Yelena! No! Don't leave me! Please, Yelena!
Saved by Emilie once again.
I'm alive. No, that's not possible.
That was an illusion, likely brought about by the residual toxin in your body coupled with the pollen in the air, neither of which are fatal.
No. The amount of Auguste I drank, it should have a fake.
We started making the preparations last night with one goal in mind, to create a perfect accord. The accord is the basis of perfume making,
the product in its most primitive form. Ambergris mixed with cedarwood, rounded out with a base note of agarwood.
This is the scent of leather?
Exactly. We're unable to extract essential oils from leather, but by combining other raw materials, we can recreate its essence. That is the purpose of an accord.
Does that mean you can recreate any scent in the whole world?
I'm afraid not. Certain fragrances in this world are simply one of a kind. That quality is what draws people in and fuels their obsessions.
If I wear a goose to the ball, I'll also be one of a kind. Our competitor already got their hands on it.
It doesn't matter how much it costs. I have to buy something better.
This fragrance will be one of a kind, no more. Myths can be deconstructed, miracles can be recreated. All it takes is skill, experience,
Why is the music so
limitless
loud?
exploration, and a little patience. The only thing left is determining where the real Auguste is hidden. Pretending to be attacked means he's not free to move around. Auguste must be hidden within reach.
Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
The curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar, capable of retaining heat and moisture.
Perfumes are as beautiful as flowers, and equally as delicate. When stored, you must take care to control the temperature and keep them away from direct sunlight. Did you get all that, Emilie?
I got it.
Replace it with a fake.
Did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
So, Sylvain is dead. Is that right?
Yes, Master.
So, you switched the bottles of Auguste, and then lied to me about Sylvain's death.
Convincing you that your revenge had been completed was the easiest way to get you to let down your guard.
Impossible. Even if you found a way to switch out the bottles, there's no way you could have made an accord if Auguste was so easy to replicate.
It was a combination of rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias. Those ingredients would have conflicted with each other if you tried to combine them in the past. But recently, we found a way for them to work together.
Rainbow roses?
Auguste was created over 10 years ago. All this time, people never stopped analyzing it, never stopped trying to recreate it. Perfumery techniques are advancing day by day. We found better ways to extract essential oils, separate oils and fats. We even discovered new ways to combine fragrances together. The mythos surrounding Auguste may have been untouchable almost 20 years ago, but now it's time for it to become a thing of the past.
The past?
You've been working as a perfumer for all these years. You should have always known that it is possible to make an accord, even if only in theory. But the meaning you assigned to Auguste became so inflated, you allowed yourself to get lost in it, just like the perfume mania that captivated the public all those years ago. You believed in its divinity and grandeur. You believed it was entirely one of a kind. Your obsession with Auguste is also what allowed us to predict how you intended your plan to end, and to make preparations in advance.
We just didn't expect it to happen so fast.
Well, you hit the nail on the head now, didn't you? So, since you've been preparing your accord since last night, that means the news of Sylvain's death. The crowd gathered outside the hotel this morning.
Yes. If we hadn't, you might have resorted to the delusion out of desperation, or continued to use your spirit borneal and Auguste combination to wreak havoc.
Who knows? Maybe I would have just offed myself then and there.
I know if you had things your way, you would carry the truth of Edgar's demise and the secrets of this garden to the grave, but I'm sorry, Master. I don't want to see any more death. Sylvain only inhaled a small amount of poison. All the crimes he concealed back then will be exposed in a court of law for everyone to see. And all his secrets will be revealed.
Is that so? Well, I suppose I'll be spending the rest of my days in a prison cell then.
Whoa, he accepted that kind of fast.
I don't feel the need to justify my actions. I did what I set out to do. I may have lost in the end, but it was my choice every step of the way.
Careful, everyone.
Stick close.
Looks like I'm almost out of time.
Of course, Master.
The combination you used to make your accord. How did you figure it out?
The scent of Auguste is complex and varied, yet the main ingredient consists of a single variety of flower. So, as I was analyzing the sample yesterday, I got to thinking, what if the scent of the Auguste flower was already imbued with that complexity during its cultivation?
You're saying Yelena designed Auguste to have the scent of multiple flowers?
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, Cecilias. The perfumers of the past knew that if you combined their essential oils directly, they would just cancel each other out. It was a conundrum they could never solve. But if you cultivate a new flower species that intrinsically carries the unique features of those three scents, you can bypass that issue entirely. It goes without saying that for that time, this idea was a stroke of genius.
Rainbow roses. Clay, Yelena.
Cool. If it seems like I'm not reacting, it's because it's 11:47 p.m. It's literally midnight. I am fucking exhausted right now. I just need to make sure I can actually get through all these quests beforehand. So that I can focus on the main quest.
Did you know? Miss Emily's releasing a new perfume.
Right. I heard.
Yelena. Oh, that's cool.
Seems like everyone in Fontaine is talking about the new perfume you're releasing.
I was hoping to release it without such a fuss, but the news spread way faster than I expected. I just hope it won't become the source of some new myth, especially after all the work we did to demystify a Goost. I did, although I made a few modifications to the formula to make the scent more pleasant and long-lasting. I actually brought a few samples with me today. I was hoping you could try out the fragrance before I officially release it.
Of course! A good sense of taste and sense of smell go hand in hand. Oh, it smells.
It's alright. Besides, when it comes to perfume, commenting on whether it smells good is the most straightforward assessment you can ask for. There doesn't always have to be a deeper meaning.
Right. Do those flowers have some special meaning?
If I had to guess, I'd say it probably has something to do with the language of flowers.
The language of flowers? Oh, we've heard of that before.
What each flower is said to represent varies by person and across different moments in history. The same is true for the flowers that make up the scent of a Goost. After returning to Fontaine, I did some research, and it turns out the meanings of those 3 flowers can be reassembled to form a single phrase. Forget the past and keep on living. Perhaps that's the legacy Yelena always intended, not the nobility and grandeur most people associate with the Goost.
Do you think Kiria knew about that?
I paid him a visit before his trial and explained what I found, but he didn't seem to care. Who knows? Maybe she didn't mean anything by it at all. Yelena is gone. We'll never know what she was thinking. We can look for meaning all we want, but it'll never be anything but conjecture. Even if that is what she was trying to say, I would never be able to forget her. Avenging her death? That was the meaning I chose for my life. Kiria cultivated his revenge like a flower. He was committed to making it bloom, even if in the end, it didn't bear the fruit he was hoping for. In any case, he did want me to pass along his thanks. Thank you for saving my life. For giving me the chance to learn that a Goost could have carried a very different meaning. Love and hatred are a privilege of the living. When someone dies, their thoughts, feelings, and intentions die with them. In that sense, what a Goost truly represents in the language of flowers will forever remain a mystery. But even if it's only a conjecture, I would like to believe my own interpretation. The meaning we give to flowers, the symbolism we assign to our perfumes, they're constantly twisted and exploited in our imperfect world. And yet, at the very outset, they're born from the simplest and most beautiful desires we hold in our heart.
It's gonna be in the quest. There it is. Cool. I bet I'm gonna get that for the thing. Yep. Wait, it's a gadget. What? That's it. That's all it does. It is a little effect. That's cool. That's actually really cool, honestly. Cool. Can I destroy? Nope. Right, no gadgets can be destroyed. That makes sense. Cool, cool. Well, that's the end of that. Didn't expect it to end in Fontaine, though. Is Emily still here? Why am I down on the bottom floor? If Emily's still here, then I can still use Nahida. She is not. That's unfortunate. Because if she was, then I could just see what's on her thoughts. Cool. My head hurts. And back in Fontaine, of course. So, even though I started in Sumeru and ended in Fontaine, even though none of it occurred in Fontaine. In fact, it never really left that small area. But either way, that's all the quests done. Obviously, I could do these, but I'm not doing them. These take a really long time to get through all of them. For very little. I'll be focusing on the main story. Probably tomorrow? I have a lot of time tomorrow.